to be a disagreement between what was reported in the newspaper as far as what the employees pay towards their health insurance. I noticed that the commissioner and the county administrator were saying that wasn't accurate. Would it be all right if we asked them what the employee co-pays are on the 3 levels? Because the newspapers get it wrong sometimes.
Sometimes they do. If she would like to respond publicly to what was different from that newspaper article to what actually is the case, that is up to you.
It is an HMO plan. That's the one thing, Ron, that you said. It is an HMO plan that all county employees are on. The rates in the newspaper, I don't have the newspaper article, and I'll assume that they are correct. And the objection is that when you say it's everyone else has to be on an HMO, but the employees get this glorious plan, it is also an HMO.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have a,
Could I ask you a question?
yes, you may.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you tell us what percent the employees do pay?
They pay, yes. They pay between 5, depending on, they pay 5% to 6.5%. And there is one employee who pays 0 for a high deductible plan that is not an HMO. It saves the county $4,000 a year for that plan. You're welcome.
Okay. Seeing no other hands,
I will comment, I did check today with the city manager, Laconia, which is the biggest community. Employees pay 15% for their better plan. There's a lower plan where they pay a higher deductible and co-pay, such as the county has a lesser plan. For that, the employees pay 6% of the premium. So the city has, the employees of the city pay 15% of their health care. And it's going up 7% over the next year, not 13%. So they negotiate. I don't know who they use or who the county uses, but there's a market out there.
okay, so the motion on the floor is to, per RSA 2413A, to level fund health insurance to the amount that was appropriated for 2013, to reverse the prior vote to fund longevity and sick bonuses for the employees. This is pertaining to that motion.
Yes. And I just want to state that it is, I appreciate the opinions that get stated, and to say what Laconia does for its employees or anyone else, and then to follow it with you don't know the rest or how they negotiate, but you also don't know that about the county, or what the whole compensation package was never contemplated by this group, has not been asked for or discussed at any time. So I just think it's important and fair for you to understand the benefits that municipal employees get in total, looking at their pay scales as well as health benefits, all the other long-term, short-term disability, life insurance, retirement, all the other means of compensation that one can put into reimbursing and compensating employees.
Thank you. That's not germane to this, however.
It's germane to 260 people who watching you do this.
We don't have that opportunity. All we have is a amount.
Well, I'm not going to believe that that's not true.
All right, a motion and a second. There's been discussion. Are we ready for a vote? Do we want to have a roll call or a hand vote?
Roll call.
Arsenal,
No.
Birchall,
Yes.
Hunchback,
Yes.
Cornelius, yes. Fields,
No.
Fink,
Yes.
Greenmore,
Yes.
Gulick,
Abstain.
Okay.
We've already passed the budget on that basis, and I'm going to take it to the AG's office, and he'll give us an answer. We already have
Luther,
a budget.
Yes.
Raymond,
No.
Sylvia,
Yes.
Tilton,
Yes.
Vadney,
Yes.
Worsman.
Yes.
10, 2, 3, and 1 abstention.
Okay. Yes, Representative Sylvia.
If I can speak to the question about Representative Conwell attendance on phone. It's very late in the proceedings to bring an objection. Typically, if you want to talk about a courtroom setting, an objection needs to be made when it's most pertinent. You did not object last week. You saved that till this week, so it's a dead issue.
Thank you.
So,
I don't know that is there benefit to a back and forth in this?
no, it's just, well, the point is that I didn't know.
All right.
I'm running the show. I'm not pretending.
So we have some adjustments to the budget. Is there any other motions?
Yes, Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Right.
Representative Raymond.
You can make a motion? Yes, I am. I was also going to make a motion, so who
No,
wants to make the motion?
Go ahead,
You first, go ahead.
Representative.
I'd like to make a motion that we hold off on any other votes on the budget until the legislative recess is over.
Bravo. Bravo. Second.
Motion and a second. Is there discussion? Yes.
It's an interesting concept. It probably would have been more pertinent prior to scheduling this meeting. That's, it seems rather sudden and not very well planned. We're spending $1,000 to sit here tonight. It doesn't seem very considerate of the taxpayers.
I think if we're going to be worried about the taxpayer, we've had more than our share of meetings. However, I have to agree with Representative Raymond for the fact that we all knew vacation was coming in the calendar at the House. So we did know that, and this was planned by whoever. So we shouldn't have even been here during our vacation. So we're giving up our vacation, and that's what we had to do. I mean, I had to cancel a trip, I would have gone down to that. So, you know, you name it, I made sure I was here.
Thank you. We appreciate you being
You're
here.
welcome.
Representative Cleveland.
Yeah, I only have one question. What's the issue with vacation?
Only got one vacation in this biennium, but, you know, the kids are on vacation. I know that Representative Hewitt's in Colorado, Representative DiMartino is in California, Representative Raymond and I were saying we don't take vacations, but I think it would be, I mean, obviously,
You're in good company.
obviously we're here tonight, and I don't mind doing business, but I would like the people to consider that maybe doing another meeting this week would not be in the best interest of, you know, of representation. We could do the following Monday. I was a little shocked to see we had 3 meetings in 7 days or 8 days or whatever, so it's just my thought on it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think I would agree with Rep. Arsenault on that point, and I would just like to point out that it's even. There are 2 on each side,
Not that we
one
have
on both sides,
sides.
so that there's even, you know what I mean, that the vote would not be really a misrepresentation, because it's an even distribution.
They'd be on there.
That's Representative Cleveland.
There is another issue that we heard in the executive committee tonight, and that is that the county needs to have the TAN appropriated and worked on and done before the middle of March. So, and we need the budget done before we authorize them borrowing money, so the time is getting a little bit short.
We
So,
do need to rush this along.
so there's, we need to rush some of this along. According to the county, they are the ones that are requiring this.
There's a motion and a second on the
I
floor.
suggest we rush this meeting a little.
Yep.
So,
We want to roll call
after
it?
the vote, please.
That's not fair. Incorrect information was just relayed here, and
Okay.
you're going to take action
Deborah.
based on it. The county absolutely disagrees that you need to have a budget adopted before the TAN can be authorized. That has never, I won't say never, because apparently it was done, lots of things have been done, but today, that is absolutely not required and will affect our ability to operate, and we in no way want you to rush through a budget using that as your excuse.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you repeat your motion, please?
Do we hold
I'll do it best I can. To Rep. Raymond motions to hold off on any votes to the 2014 budget until after legislative recess is over. So we'll just jump in. Arsenal. Sorry. What's that?
Handle?
Handle?
I prefer roll call.
He wanted to know, go ahead. Okay, Arsenal,
Yes.
Burchell,
No.
Comtois,
No.
Cormier is no, Fields,
Yes.
Fink,
No.
Greenmore,
No.
Gulick,
Abstain.
Luther,
No.
Raymond,
Yes.
Sylvia,
No.
Tilton,
No.
Radney,
No.
Worsman.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 10 noes, 1 abstention, 3 yes.
Motion carries. Representative Belknap. Right, motion fails, I apologize, motion fails.
Simple as that.
Yes.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve 2 new correctional officers. We have the scenario given to us by Superintendent Moore a couple weeks ago, 1, 2, and 3. And I make 2.
So we placed in the budget 3, you want to remove one of them?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second that.
And speech, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Having toured the jail and seen the issues, with a number of issues that all need money, but the one that really stood out is in their manpower, and it hurts me to recommend additional manpower at this point because of the budget. But there are situations in there because it is an extremely difficult building to monitor with a reduced force. And I think that the safety of the county for a number of reasons would be worthwhile.
Some discussion.
Well, one of those being the bracelet program, hopefully can be rolled, and one being additional guard. I believe that's the way that.
Representative Gulick and then Representative Tilton.
I'm reminded of what Dan Ward said unequivocally about this proposal. It's not going to work unless the 27 people that he has working for him are guaranteed the benefits that were part of the commissioner's package, what they've been having. If these get taken away, this is just an exercise in something. Because it's predicated on, he said it would be very helpful, but if those benefits are taken away, if you remember, he's here, he can confirm if I'm misspeaking, but I believe it was predicated on they're getting the benefits and the pay scale that they had previously been getting, and we're offering to take that away.
Thank you. Representative Tilton, Representative Burchell, then Representative Fields.
I made the motion last time to go to the 3, and I really think that is appropriate. I don't see how, though, when we're looking at the budget and seeing what it is, and also really hearing an aside from the commissioners that the fact that we put that extra money with our intention that it's going to be more personnel, that they're going to look at how they may be funding some other things that we aren't funding. So even if we think we're funding 3 new personnel, there's no guarantee there will be. And likewise, while we sure hope that first one is for the bracelet program, that's not our call. And the commissioner does hire 2 and don't expand the bracelet program. The third, there's never been any discussion here that I've heard of cutting salaries. For that matter, nobody is cutting benefits. We do have difference on how much the county should be able to bear as the cost of one particular benefit, the health care increases. So that's the only thing that is really in play. Nobody is cutting salary. Nobody is cutting benefits. We're talking about how we fund the extra that's going to be, that we're going to be seeing.
Thank you, Representative Burchell.
I don't like putting Superintendent Ward on the spot, but I don't see where we have a choice. I think he needs to say that Ms. Gould, or Representative Gould, is correct, or she's not correct.
Representative Ward, I mean,
You're moving up.
That sounds like a demotion to me.
So I'm not sure who wants me to respond.
I think the motion on the floor is, recognizes the incredible need you have.
Yes.
This delegation understands we need to fund, we desire to fund at least 2 officers for you. When we look at the budget, 3 just doesn't work. But if we put the money in, we're looking for assurances that you're going to get someone for your bracelet program, and you're going to get someone to help out with your going full-time from your 2 part-times that are in the evening, or some other that's going to help your staff and relieve some stress in your department.
I don't have the ability to give you assurances that are outside of my pay grade. What I can tell you is that you asked me for 3 scenarios. Those scenarios are predicated on certain things happening. I very much appreciate the support of the positions. They are absolutely needed. All of you, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, I explained to you why all 3 of those positions were vital. If you're going to try to control not just costs within Department of Corrections, but the population as well. If we get the positions authorized without, not the salary issue, but without also the issue of the benefits, specifically health coverage for the remaining officers, I do not believe we're going to see one of those people added on to the jail. It's a reality. The county's going to have to find a way to budget and fund the existing requirements of all of our obligations within the Department of Corrections. And despite what all of you may do in your desire to give the department that additional staffing, I don't think the county is going to be in a position to be able to do that, even with their support as well.
Superintendent, at issue is the comment that without full health insurance premium benefits as has existed last year, that the positions will do you no good, and it's to that statement that I would like you to respond.
I think the response that I had heard from previous meetings was that if that funding isn't there for the existing staff, then when that bottom line dollar amount gets voted on at the jail with the positions included in it, that money will first.
Perhaps, sir, but that's not your decision. Right?
That's not my decision. I started off with
What
that.
I'm trying to get you to respond to is your comments. I don't believe that you ever made a comment that the positions would do you no good.
Oh, the positions absolutely are vital. I don't know how else to explain. The positions certainly are. I just don't know how to tell you without funding the department in total how that's going to work. I'm sorry.
In our prior motion, we did level fund health insurance to what was paid out last year by Councilman O'Donnell. All right, wait, Representative Fields. And then you were at your
Well, I was just going to ask Mr. Ward if he was happy with the 2, but without the benefits, I guess you wouldn't be there.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
We would have to add the benefits, then apparently is what you're saying. So in the motion to give you 2 people,
Yes.
we would have to add to the motion the benefits.
The problem, Representative, is that we're not talking about the benefits specifically for those 1, 2, or 3 individuals. We're talking about the benefits, the contractual obligations
Right.
for all of them.
Well,
Yes,
that's
sir.
what I'm trying to refer to.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Yeah, I just really have a short comment. I don't understand. I really am at a loss to understand how people at this table think that they can spend the money for the county because they can't. If you would like to spend and have an influence on how money is spent at the county level, there's some elections coming up and you should run for a county commissioner. because those people have the authority to spend the money and what they want to spend it on. All we have is the authority to set the amount that they have to spend. So anybody at this table that thinks they're going to influence those seats is probably wrong. Because if you had any influence with those seats right there, the County Register of Deeds legal funds would have already been paid. And they're not, so you can take your influence and put it in your pocket, quite frankly.
Thank you. Yes.
Madam Chair, one question. On the vote that was just taken to authorize the dollar amount for health insurance costs, if those positions become voted on, 1, 2, or 3, will the additional health insurance costs for those positions be added to the dollar amount that was just voted on? Or were those included?
Because there were some vacancies in other departments, it should cover that.
We can't manage the 1 or 2 spaces. We've been asking for information since December. Specifically, at least 7 times, the request has been, how many people by department are on single pay health insurance? How many are on double, 2-person? How many are in family by department? We have not got that information. The best we've got, and this had to be corrected, is that last year there were 170 full-time personnel. This year there were 169 full-time. Last year there were 46 part-time, and this year there are 99. I don't think that's accurate, but it's a correction when we pointed out the first submission that this was inaccurate. I don't think the sheriff goes from 2 part-time to 28, but the point is, this is all we've got. That's why I really like Representative Rochelle's motion. We will give a pot of money that gets distributed by the commissioners for health care. And that's got to come back. If we're going to do it, we just use what went to that department last year. But we don't know within departments who's gone from single to family plan, or who's doesn't have any, who's getting the, who's maybe not taking health care because they're getting a bonus because their spouse has it. Those things we're not privy to, and all we're privy to is total. And that's what the motion is, and I think that's appropriate. So as far as those 2, if they go in full-time, they're going to be part of the union, and they would be covered the same way any other full-time is. But that's up to the commissioners.
Any additional discussion? Okay. When we make this vote, I hope that the commissioners are hearing loud and clear, and I understand we only have 1 commissioner here, that it is the desire of this convention to support the positions in the jail to the extent that is possible. And it might be that another department, there appears in the numbers, and that's all we have is the numbers, there's 1 position that's been unfunded. We are hoping that you will take that, the money that was allocated for that person's health insurance and use it for this position in the jail. And I'm certain that there's other places in there you can't have the same, not everybody goes all to family, not everybody is going to go from family to single. There's got to be some give and take in there. So we are hoping that the commissioners are hearing us, that how important we, the delegation, fund these 2 positions in the jail. We can't fund 3. I hope you are listening.
Roll call.
Okay.
I would like to state that I have confidence in the commissioners in that to handle this matter. And I will support Representative Contos for the 2 positions. So I just want to let you know that I will support that.
Thank you. Roll call has been requested. Please kindly call the roll.
Virtual,
Yes.
Comtois,
Yes.
Cormier is yes, Fields is yes. Fink,
Yes.
Greenmore,
Yes.
Gulick,
Abstain.
Luther,
Yes?
Raymond,
No.
Sylvia,
Yes.
Tilton,
Yes.
Badney,
Yes.
Horstman.
Yes.
11, to 1 with one abstention. It passes.
The motion being 11 to 1, motion passes. As represented.
Croc TV.